Hey guys, welcome to Blazing Guitars, where we talk about worship, gear, guitar, music, and everything in between. My name is Blaze Nelson, and today I wanted to talk about why I think it's important that every musician memorize their music. If you've never thought about this before, or have never done this, this can sound really intimidating, and if you're used to playing with a music stand, it can seem almost impossible to play without it. But today I wanted to give you 3 benefits on what can happen when you memorize your music, and hopefully some tips that can help you accomplish that goal. So before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, or concerns, please leave a comment below. And don't forget to click that little bell notification that will notify you when new videos come out. So let's jump into it. The first reason I think it's super important to memorize your music is because it can help you with stage presence. Now, church people kind of have this funny thing with stage presence where we don't want to make it look like we're trying to make the music about us. So what can happen is that a new person can walk in, and because nobody's thinking about their stage presence, everybody looks really miserable on stage. So you're singing these songs about praising God and joy and all these things, and the newcomer just sees these people that look like they're miserable on stage. And that happens especially with music stands. It can happen because people are reading the notes and really trying not to miss anything. And so their brains are just focusing solely on that. And so there's no thought into how they look, there's no thought into any of these other things that are important, and so they can just look miserable on stage. But if you memorize the music, you can get rid of the music stands, and then that frees you up to make some eye contact with people. You don't have to be Mr. Smiley or anything, but a little eye contact can go a long, long way. So if you memorize your music, it can free you up to think about some things like that. The second benefit I really see about memorizing music is that it can help you be more creative. For the same reason, when you're not worried about the transitions or the next chord or all these things, it can free you up to think about new parts or new hooks or song transitions or all these things that we neglect because we're so worried about hitting the next note. It can really allow you to start thinking about some of these things. And especially if the whole band has their music memorized, then everybody can start thinking about how can we get this song to be a little bit better than it was last week, which I think is super cool when everybody's on board with that. And then the third benefit is it can really help you learn how to learn more music more efficiently. So when I first started, I would have to do all these little tricks on memorizing chords. Like I remember there was one song where the progression was A, B, E, and the acronym was ABE. And so every time we would play it, I'd have to say ABE so that I would remember the exact order of that progression. But as the years have progressed, I've been playing in bands since the December 2008. So I've been doing it for almost 12 years. And what's happened with me is as I memorize more music, I can pick up music within an hour. I don't have to do all these goofy little tricks of memorizing ABE or memorizing all these little things that I was using, but I can just sit down with a song and within an hour have it all picked out and not have to look at the sheet again. Or there's been songs that I haven't even looked at the sheet. I can just kind of figure it out. So that can help, especially that can happen more and more as you memorize your music. So a couple tips on how to do this. One is set a goal for yourself. When we have new people come in, I always have a conversation with them on how soon they think they can memorize all their music. And if they don't think they can do it in 3 months, then we set it for 6 months. 6 months is usually my limit because it seems like people can memorize that. And we only have 30 songs, so that's pretty doable. But if you set a limit on yourself and you set a deadline, then it helps you actually work to get that done. Otherwise, it can just kind of drag on and on and on and never having a deadline, and you're just doing this the rest of your life, which nobody wants. The second thing I would suggest is to start really small. Start with 5 songs. And then when you go to practice those 5 songs without your sheet music. Take the music stand off the stage and see what happens. And what you'll find is that you'll get more and more comfortable, and eventually, hopefully, you can start doing that at church. And then the final tip I have is to sing while you practice. Because what that does is that gives your brain more context to the chord progressions, and then it also allows your ear to start getting trained. So instead of, if I say ABE, there's no context to that, right? But in the song, in lyrics, and all these things, it gives you all these little anchor points that you can tie to those chords maybe it's a lyric, or maybe it's a certain melody line or harmony line, or all these things. And then even on top of that, it allows your ear to get better and better trained. So 3 benefits in conclusion. We have 3 benefits, right? Helps you with your stage presence, helps you be more creative as a band, and helps you learn music faster. And then if you do those 3 tips, if you set a deadline for yourself, start small, and then sing while you practice, I think what you'll find is that you'll become a better musician overall. And again, it might seem scary, but I promise you this is something that you can do. When I bring this idea up to people, I get a lot of, man, I could never do anything like that. And I was like that too, but now it's not even a thing for me anymore. I've been doing this for over a decade, and songs just come to me really, really fast. And you can get to that spot. I'm not special. I don't have special photographic memory or anything. I've just put in the time and the effort to make it happen. And you can do the exact same thing. And I think you will be blessed by it, and your church will be blessed by it. So hopefully this video was helpful. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one.